Hey guys, it's Megan. We're back in the library today. In fact, for the last time, possibly for a while, because tomorrow's our last day of school. Super exciting. But today I want to talk to you about a book that I read recently as an ebook, and I've briefly mentioned it in some other videos. It was surprisingly good. No one is talking about it. It's a pretty rare find, apparently. There's very few reviews on Goodreads. I just want to talk to you about it and tell you why you should definitely check it out. This book is called The Ghost of Tsavo by Fareed Ehsani, I believe is how you say it. She has written a whole series of these. There are 10 of them. The series is finished now. The series is called Society for the Paranormals. But first I want to read you the description of this book because it is so fascinating. So listen to this and tell me if you're not hooked. It says, armed with Victorian etiquette, a fully loaded walking stick, and a dead husband, Beatrice Knight arrives in colonial Kenya, desperate for a pot of tea and a pinch of cinnamon. But she'll need more than that if she's to unravel the mystery of the ghost of Tsavo without being eaten in the process. All this while surviving the machinations of her best friend's dashing godfather and the efforts of her safari guide to feed her to any lion willing to drag her away. What is a ghost-chasing widow to do? And it says that this whole series for the paranormals is a series concerning dead husbands, African legends, and the search for the perfect spot of tea. It's perfect for readers that love Pride and Prejudice, but it's set in colonial Africa, and if you like those things, then this is for you. So I don't know about you, but when I first read that description, I was so intrigued that I had to check it out. Turns out it's as good as it sounds. So to be able to tell you more about this book, I'm going to go through my rating system, which I use the CAWPILE rating system, and this was, I think G Book Roast is the one that came up with this. I have another video about it, which I'll link in the description down below, but it's basically a system that uses 7 letters, spelled CAWPILE, CAWPILE, and each letter stands for something. We have character, atmosphere, writing, plot, intrigue, logic, and enjoyment. And I'm just going to tell you a little bit about each one when it comes to this book. I'm actually going to start with plot. I'm going to skip ahead and then we're going to go back to characters. So I'm going to start with the plot. As you can tell from that summary there, it sounds amazing. The plot is super fast paced. If you're interested at all in the Lions of Tsavo, if you don't know the story behind that, really you should just go watch the movie The Ghost in the Darkness, which I feel like I talk about all the time when I mention this book, but that's how I knew about the man-eating lions of Tsavo. This was in the late 1800s in Kenya. They were trying to build a railroad there. All these British workers were coming over and they were all being eaten by these 2 gigantic, massive, like, I can't remember, it was something insane, like, I want to say 10 feet. That sounds crazy though, right? Like 10 feet long lions or something. Anyway, it was very rare, of course, that lions, 2 male lions would even travel together, and they seemed to be killing people just for sport and not for food. So people kind of basically thought that they were ghosts or that they were evil, and that's why they actually named them. One was called The Ghost and one was called The Darkness, hence the name of the movie with, I believe it was Val Kilmer and Michael Douglas. But anyway, very, just on the edge of your seat movie. So watch that if you get a chance. But basically this book is set right after those events take place, and it seems that these 2 man-eating lions have returned in ghost form and are eating people once again. So Beatrice and the family that she kind of lives with, she's a little bit older, but she was sort of taken in by this family when something happened to her own parents, which I don't know what it is yet. I'm assuming there's going to be a lot more about her parents in the next book, but she is a widow as well, so she kind of relies on this family to help her out. But the whole widow part is actually really cool too, because it doesn't tell you much about it in that description there, but her dead husband has a lot more to do with the plot, and I think he's going to be more important coming up. But he's a ghost who kind of haunts her, and anyway, I don't want to tell you too much, but he's really funny too. So anyway, she's kind of perturbed by the fact that she's being haunted by him, especially because there could possibly be this new love interest. I honestly didn't expect it to have any romance, but it does. So anyway, that's a little bit about the plot. If that sounds cool to you, but plus you like a little bit of action, because she does get to fight with her really awesome walking stick, and she's got some secret kind of weapons up her sleeve, and of course she's got her pinch of cinnamon to ward off anything, including werewolves who apparently hate cinnamon. Next, let's talk about the atmosphere. Let's go back to characters. So we're gonna go in order this time. So the characters, like I kind of mentioned, there are many of them, including dead ones, ghost ones, which is kind of cool. And there's a charming character in the godfather of her friend that she's made in Africa, who there's definitely more to him than meets the eye, and you do find out by the end of the book what he's up to, because at first I thought, oh my gosh, I'm gonna have to read the whole series to learn more about this character. It kind of reminded me of, if you've ever read the Elizabeth Peters books, which I've talked about before as well, the Vicky Bliss series. It reminded me of that, like with the romance between Vicky and John. Anyway, this was very similar. So the characters were pretty fascinating. There was another, like a scientist doctor character who I didn't quite expect to be in there. You are introduced to quite a few characters at the beginning, and I saw someone on a Goodreads review complaining about the just how many characters and that they were all introduced right off the bat, but I thought that they were all necessary. I didn't think they were introduced too quickly. I thought it had just the right amount of characters, honestly, and they were pretty fascinating. Okay, next is atmosphere. It's a very fun atmosphere. I mean, every now and then you do feel like the characters are in some danger. I mean, you know, they're not gonna kill off the main character, obviously. This is not Game of Thrones or anything like that. But you do realize that, hey, you know, she is gonna have to fight these ghost lions or whatever they are. Are they ghosts? You know, that's kind of the mystery. So I would say the atmosphere is, you know, it's lighthearted. It doesn't take itself too seriously. And so that's what makes it fun. Okay, next is writing. I actually really enjoyed the writing style. Some people, I've read Goodreads reviews that didn't think it was the most well-written book. They've actually pointed it out, you know, metaphors or something that the author used that they didn't like, but I honestly really enjoyed the writing style. It was very fast-paced. It was very, just like I said, kind of comical and lighthearted in tone, even though it's about, you know, killing, like lions killing people and a woman hunting down their ghost. It was still actually relatively comical, and that's why I enjoyed it so much. We've already done plot, so next on CAWPILE is intrigue. I was hooked the entire time. I wanted to know, are these actually the ghosts? Because here's the thing, she says that ghosts don't actually eat people. They don't leave blood and dead bodies lying around. So she doesn't believe that they're actually ghosts that are killing these people. So then it becomes more of a mystery about, well, if it's not ghost lions, what is killing these people? Is it some other lions? Like, what's going on? Why is her safari guide, who's supposed to be helping them, why does he seem to be trying to feed her to the possible ghost lions? He kind of abandons her and leaves her there to be eaten by them. But then suddenly he's being nice to her again. And it's all very strange. And you have to kind of figure out what everybody's motivations are, including, like I said, that the charming godfather character. You have to figure out what his motivations are as well. Okay, next is logic. I mean, I guess it doesn't really make much sense, but I mean, obviously you can tell from the description it's very fantasy inspired, but honestly the logic of the world does make sense, because we get hints that there's a lot more to Beatrice and her character than meets the eye. And I assume that, I've not read any of the other books, but I assume that we will learn more about the kind of magic system of this world as we go on, because we learn that Beatrice definitely has some sort of innate, sort of almost like magical type powers. I guess I didn't mention that before. There's definitely going to be some magic in these books, I believe, because she obviously works for a society called Society for the Paranormals, who is run by a werewolf, which they're typically bad, but he's not. But I think there's more to Beatrice too. I don't think she's a werewolf, but I think there is something about her, because she hints at things in her past and abilities she has that seem kind of suspicious. So I do think the logic will make more sense as the books continue and they develop the world that they live in and the magic system a little bit more. Finally is enjoyment, and I enjoyed this book so much that I wanted to make a whole video about it right now. I highly recommend that you check it out and just give it a try. Like I said, it's fun, fast-paced, and I forgot to mention that it is also very short. It is less than 300 pages. It was like maybe 250. I don't even know if it was that long. Like I said, I read it though as an ebook, so I'm not really sure, but I know it was actually relatively short, somewhere in the 200 pages. So I think you would enjoy it if you give it a try. If that sounds anything like you would read, then definitely check it out. And I cannot wait to continue with the rest of this series. Well, thank you guys so much for watching. I'm hopefully going to have my 100 subscriber, 100 book video out very soon. I'm hopefully going to film that now that summer is starting for me. It's obviously been busy with the baby and working. So next week, hopefully you can look forward to that. Thanks guys for watching, and I will see you later. Bye.